There are several new features in version 4.15.1 that we wanted to demonstrate before we released this version to customers. First, we've implemented the ability to apply sales tax on costs. You'll have to do a few things to set this up. First, go to your system settings and resource types, and make sure that any resource type that is associated with costs, like your subrental, or your purchases, or your retail and rental backorder, are set to taxable yes. Then go to System Settings, Sales Tax Rules, and for any sales tax rule that you want to use on costs, make sure that those resource types have a sales tax value. So for example, your subrental, purchase, and your retail and rental backorder. Next, you want to make sure that the sales tax rule is enabled on any element that you are applying sales tax to costs, like a rental PO or a purchase PO. You'll go to the accounting options and just make sure that the sales tax rule is enabled. Then click Update to save those changes. You'll also want to go to the document views and make sure that you have in the header block column a way to choose the sales tax rule that you're using on that element. And then the total block rows, you can also put the sales tax total for that element. If you need help setting up these document view settings, we have a great video on our YouTube page about document views. But after making any changes, just make sure to click Update and then update the element settings. After you make those changes, you should have the ability to apply a sales tax rule on any element that has costs, any element that you've set up to have the sales tax rule enabled and selectable on your document views. Next, we've implemented a threshold tab on inventory items. If you click the threshold tab, you'll see each resource type has a minimum and a maximum. And also each location, you can input separate values. Just click into those fields and you can enter the minimum and maximum amounts for that resource type. A use case scenario here might be if you have a non-serialized item that you never want to drop below 10 in your retail stock, then you can put 10 as the minimum. And in the future, we will have a report, possibly in version 4.16 or 4.17, and you can run that report to show any item that has an on-hand quantity less than its threshold. So for now, you can set up your threshold amounts, and in the future, we will have a report that you can print that will show you anything that's below or above its threshold amounts that you've put in the threshold tab. Last, we've programmed the ability to implement multiple automation profiles to a single element. In the past, you were able to apply a single automation profile to an element. So for example, if you have a quote and you want to apply recurring invoicing to that quote to automatically generate an invoice every week or month, then you could do that by setting it up in the accounting options section of the quote element settings. But now you can choose multiple automation profiles to apply to a single element. And so now if I open a quote, then I'll have the ability to select any of the automation profiles that I've set up for that element. If you need any help with these new features, please email support@flexrentalsolutions.com.